In early prehistory, the Brue Valley was dominated by wetland environments like these reed swamps you can see behind me, and prehistoric people had to come up with imaginative ways to cross those wetlands. In the Neolithic, almost 6,000 years ago, the solution they came up with was what we can see a replica of here, the sweet track. We know the sweet track was built in the early spring of 3806 BC. We know that from tree-ring dating of the oak planks used in its construction, and it was built by the first farming communities in Somerset. It was discovered in the 1970s by a chap called Ray Sweet while he was cleaning a ditch, and the trackway is named after him. Well, the significance of this monument is it's the earliest known prehistoric trackway from the UK, one of the earliest in Europe. It had two functions. One was a communication route to go from the Polden Hills over there to the island of West Hay in the other direction. But the other reason was a ritual reason, because we know votive offerings were made beside the trackway. Well, the trackway has been excavated in several parts along its length, mainly by the Somerset Levels project in the 1970s and 1980s. So we've got a good idea of how it changed over its length and what was found beside it. Things like flint arrowheads, wooden bowls that have been carved out, bits of bows, yew pins, a child's wooden toy axe. I think one of the most exciting things is the preservation. The tool marks on the wood look as though they've been cut by an axe just yesterday or last week. They're so fresh, and that's after almost 6,000 years in waterlogged peat. The preservation is just incredible. It's significant because what it can tell us about the first farming communities. All those objects found beside the trackway amount to our best evidence of what the material culture was for those first farming communities, the sorts of objects they had and the sorts of materials they used in everyday life. The most precious object found beside the trackway was a polished jadeite axe that had been quarried in the Alps and probably took about 200 years of being traded across Europe before it came to the sweet track. So we know they're votive offerings because things like the axes don't have hafts or handles, they're just the axe deposited. And that probably makes the sweet track our earliest ritual monument known from the UK.